welcome to the Anam Cara Energy Healing podcast, Janell Rae, an energy healer, gift activator, and frequency mentor. And I know you've got 25 years experience of energy work, and you've just published your first academic paper, which is the reason for us to gather today for a conversation. That paper's Energy Heat Intelligence Resistance as a Guide Towards Healing, which is a very catchy and interesting, engaging title. So, could you just give us a brief outline of your career and what you've been up to?
Hi, Simon. Thank you. Pleased to be here with you and everyone that's joining us. Hello. Yes, I am an intuitive, and my journey it's been my activation, as you shared, 25 and approaching 30. We're kind of growing through past 25 and approaching 30 years ago, was done through when I was wearing my hat of a horse trainer. And I was training horses professionally. My barn is full. I'm attracting outlaws. And what I realized was that these outlaws, and an outlaw means a horse that has extremely aggressive behavior. And I was their last stop for many of them. They either made it or they didn't. And I would let them free move in my arena, and I would watch that. And I realized biomechanically they are off. So on the quest to understand what's wrong, why is that? I networked with a vet that did acupuncture and herbs, Chinese medicine, a chiropractor who was genius and with horses, and a body worker who we would say now an energy worker. But back then those words weren't used in my circles. So they got the horses out of pain. What the horses did for me was on the home side, when I was doing the follow-up work, they activated what I put to sleep because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what it meant to sense, feel, know. It scared the bejeebies out of me sometimes when I was a little. And it caused me a lot of confusion and pain. So that's so many of us, hindsight, when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was one incredibly intuitive, sensory, gifted kiddo, but I didn't understand it. And the people around me didn't understand it. But here I am in the horse space. That's my safe space. And we're rehabilitating the horses. And the horses' gift back to me was them rehabilitating me. And I began to see through their eyes that I could see where meridians flowed. I could feel, I could sense in the way that I did. And that's how we got the horses back to health. And they were rock stars. They were the most athletic, most intelligent horses. They were in pain and no one was hearing them. But through the gift of senses and understanding what that data means. So we sense things all the time, but it's interpreting that can be the challenge or the overwhelm or the confusion. And that's what can cause us to shut this down. But it was my journey with these horses that I learned how to see, feel, know how I worked and use it for good.
I'd like to talk about your academic paper in a moment, but I just like to bring into the conversation that do you believe that this is an innate ability that everybody has?
I have not run into anybody that doesn't have it.
That's an excellent answer. So it's all about uncovering it, which we're going to do a little bit later for the listeners who are just tuning in to understand sensing and what it is. So
Mhm.
we'll come on to that in a little bit. But what led you to writing an academic paper? I mean, that's quite a difficult thing to achieve. I guess you'd had lots of information. Just give us an idea of what that led to, really.
It's an information and an avenue to bring awareness to these topics. Because knowledge, when we understand something, it brings clarity. And because my own journey, when I'm walking with people, when we can bring clarity to what is going on, what they're feeling, sensing, knowing, when we can bring clarity to that, then it's like, okay, I can work with that. So this was an avenue to getting information about our senses, about energy, about frequencies, how to interpret them for our good, for our understanding.
Hmm, thank you. So I suppose my next question is, what is your simple definition of sensing or self-sensing? What is that? What's going on?
Self-sensing, it's a navigation tool. It's a our given navigation. So whether we're looking at here, whether we're looking at where do I need to go, decision making, what aligns with me, if we're looking about healing, if we're looking, into healing ourselves, healing the land, healing in so many different ways, we can apply these knowing, this gift of sense. But it's a navigation tool.
Hmm. And therefore, what are we sensing? Let's focus on the human body. If the audience are sitting listening to this and they're drawn towards sensing in their own body, which is really what this is all about. So, what is it that this sensing ability is sensing?
It's sensing frequency. It's sensing frequency. And every we think everything that's in a line with us, if we are looking for a roadmap, everything that's in a line with us is a frequency that we can sense. It will, and so it's really number one, it's getting to know me. What is my design? Then deciding whether that suits me or not is easy because it either fits or it doesn't fit. When I'm looking at helping, healing, and supporting my health, it's frequency. What is me? So it's really getting good at knowing what my optimal frequency, that's a vibration. What is it? What is it? And it's going to be unique to you. There's some similarities, there's some patterns that are guides, but really getting to get your doctorate in knowing you. That's the sensing. And in that, then the other things just line up. It's like if it isn't matching that in my body, it doesn't belong to me. And there's all sorts of unique and fun ways of helping shift that out of my body. So when we're talking health, what matches me, what doesn't match me, and remove what doesn't match or elevate what doesn't match. It's like tuning your piano. You are the master of your own piano here.
Are you looking at sensing where you're stuck, where your frequency or energy is stuck in your body that might cause discomfort, pain, or, lead to disease?
Absolutely. Yeah. It can be a sense of stuck. There is that. There's a sense of stuck for for some types of frequencies that don't belong there anymore. And there's also a guide frequency. It's like I'm stuck. That is guidance 100%. Matter of fact, the more I lean into that awareness, the more I'm convinced that when I get the sense of stuck in my body, I'm like, thank you. Because we often think stuck, oh my gosh, I need to fight that. We need to work there. Not always. When we get the sense of stuck, it's an opportunity to go, thank you, guidance. What is ready to be understood here? And that turns it into a friend. And instead of a battle or instead of let's wrestle with that energy, what is understood here? There's something to be understood. It could be that there's a timeline. I could have an epigenetic pattern that my family has been experiencing that guidance is saying, take a couple steps back from this place of stuck and let's bring some healing into that space. That stuck has been understood in all sorts of different ways. But right now, I am seeing that frequency as guidance saying, take two steps back from that and let's understand. When that is cleared, the stuck is gone.
So your belief is that by discovering what's stuck and bringing it into awareness, then that's the releasing the first layer of stuckness or healing it. Is that fair to say?
It is a part of it. Yeah, it's reframing it. energy intelligence method is about understanding. We've known trauma, for example, trauma and all of its different forms can get stuck. I haven't met anybody that hasn't had some form of trauma frequencies, and we store it in our body for a day that we're ready and mature enough to shift it. Okay. Then there's another depth to understanding that trauma because we have patterns in us. I've had oodles of them, and I'm working through one exactly right now. And it's like, oh, thank you. This pattern is showing me what's ready to shift in not only my body, but in my whole genetic, energetic life, whether it's how many past lives ago, however anybody interprets that, the whole past life, future life, so that whole timeline, my energetic existence, and or my epigenetic, my genetic line. These patterns, the trauma pattern that I am seeing is showing me what's ready to shift. What have I stored physically in my this now body, what I live in now, but also beyond that. Does that make sense? So we're healing it. So we have the opportunity through sensing what's guidance saying through this message, getting intelligent about it. We have emotional intelligence, we have intellectual intelligence, and now we can take a step in and go, how am I reading this message? We kind of can get locked into, well, this is how it's to be read. No, your senses are showing you deep inside you, everything that is you at your most authentic core reads this in an elevated way. And we get a whole other message when we go there.
So this intelligence that you're talking about, that's not the intelligence of the mind, for example. It's what is your definition of that intelligence in that case?
Isn't that amazing? I know it's so cool. It is the intelligence of the authentic you. And what does that mean? That means your highest self that exists within the light space, the source space. It knows exactly, your energy body knows exactly who you are and exactly how you work in all of your gifts, in all of the sensory components that make you you, knows how you work. And it's connecting to that and letting that wisdom feed your intellect.
Forgive me. Perhaps we should explain for listeners what we mean by the energy body. And um, my own definition of that is that there is a divine web, and we are part of that divine web of life. And within that, our incarnational uh, self is very complex, and we only tend to see the body. We don't necessarily see or sense that we also have this energy field around us, which is incredibly complicated in my experience. But what's your take on that?
I have a similar view that you do. My lesson, my eye-opening lesson was when I had a mare of 26 years, and she was with me and part of my family for 23 years. A beautiful horse, and we let her go last spring. It was just time and such, so we let her go. And in my grieving, I said, Blue, her name was Blue. I said, Blue, I'm supposed to learn something from you in this passing. I can feel it. And I was. So what she showed me was several things, but along this line, what she showed me. So after she passed, we let her go, and I am in deep grieving. And her energy took me to a place where energy in its purest form, in its purest love form, she took me there. She goes, this is where we are. I know you, you know me. There is no time. And we know all the connections we've ever had, everything to know, we know here. And I went, okay, that's like profound. Like I knew it intellectually, but I could see it, feel it. It's like, yes, that's profound. She is an identity with a horse experience now. She's an identity, an energy identity that's had many experiences that are now part of her frequency, part of her higher self. She's no longer a horse, she is energy. And I am of that space as well. And I am an individual with many experiences here from the planet and not that I've lived. And it's all part of who I am energetically in its purest form. But I'm not a horse. I'm not a human there. I'm not a tree there. I am there. That's our energy body. And then it resides within our physical body, which has a harmonic effect with all of the emotional frequency that is us, all the all the organ frequency, which harmonizes with emotion frequency, and all physical operations, which harmonize with who I am energetically. For this is the experience, and that's how I gain through my senses the experience. The energetic experience of sensing is one level of experiencing and experiencing, leave it there. And then our physical body has its sensing system, which also is part of the experience. That is what I will take with me when this work is done and I go back into light space.
I think for the Western mind, that's a very, very good explanation. There are lots of Eastern teachings and wisdom around this subject that some people may have experienced or not. But I think for somebody in, the Western world, that's a very good explanation. And are you talking about part of this journey is to open up perception and to allow a shift in perception from what we normally experience as the physical body?
It is. Yeah, it's about expanding understanding. We are familiar, as humans in our that type of logic and thinking, we know we have all those senses of taste, feel, sensory feel, heart feel, eyes, ears, etc. And the depth that energy sensing brings, it's just as much us as our physical senses. So as we're walking this journey, we have opportunity for those that hear this. We have opportunity to step into this sensory, energy sensory part of us, which is directly parallel to our physical senses. And it is for the purpose of expanding our experience and bringing love frequency to the planet. It has
Yeah,
a
and I
job.
think that's also something that I'd like to ask you about because love is we're not talking about hearts and flowers here, are we?
No.
We're talking about something much deeper, and I'd love to hear your explanation of that place or that energy. We might call it divinity, but I'd like to hear your own take on that.
Yeah. Love in its purest form, we have the opportunity through us to ground that into the earth, Mother Gaia. We get to ground that into with our feet on the ground. We are I guess, tools, grounding rods in a sense, that bring that pure love form. So we bring it for the healing, we bring it for the elevation, we bring it for my learning. I learn through bringing and channeling in pure love because when I'm healing myself in my physical form and energy form, I'm learning about my gifts, I'm learning about how I work, etc. That ripple effect is then energy is energy, and energy, if I am healing and I'm grounding that everywhere I go, then that is a ripple effect into community, and that will help others shift, not by force. See, love is not force. Love is a tuning fork. It's a loving tuning fork. It's that nurturing sound of nature. It's tuning us. And we get to be a facilitator of that work by doing our work. I just find that so beautiful. And it isn't gushy love and roses and chocolates, even though I love chocolate. It is about that beautiful, harmonic. We say we want to build community and we want to support community and we want to have people at the soul level nurtured. Well, then do the work. Get in and tap into that love frequency because that is what shifts without force.
Which beautifully brings us to the point where I'd like you to give us a practical guide to opening up our sensing ability.
You bet. It's so much fun. It's so fun. Okay. So here we go. One of my faves is I invite you to just allow every file, if you were thinking of like a computer file, everything that's running in your mind right now, just allow it to be closed for now. Step into a place that you create. Just set an intention that I'm stepping into a place that nothing needs done. There are no demands on my mind right now. There's no problems to solve. There is nothing to do because all of that is outside of this container. So for this 30 seconds, I am going to welcome in peace, relaxation, and I invite you to now just be aware. You may put your hand on your heart if that resonates with you. To be aware as you breathe in, you're just going to imagine like you have a balloon and it expands as your breath comes in your chest and it shrinks as you exhale. You're just going to bring your focus as you inhale, your balloon expands. And as you exhale, it shrinks. Just continue this rhythm. Bring a smile to your face. Thank you. Let a smile be felt in your heart as you breathe in and as you exhale. When it feels right, you can bring your hand, your right hand or your left, choose you and do you, on right below your rib cage. If you know your chakras, right on your sacral chakra or your solar plexus, sorry, right on your solar plexus. And as you breathe in, again, it expands like a balloon. And as you exhale, it shrinks. Smile on your face, a smile in your belly. It is easy to be here. Now, setting the intention as you breathe in and as you exhale to connect to who you are here in the center of you, not with your brain, but just allow yourself to connect as you breathe. You're doing well. And you can stay here as long as it is comfortable. And when you are ready, you're going to just bring your awareness up to your heart as you breathe. Now, You've connected to your heart and you have connected to the seed of you, the center of you. And as you step out of the container, you're just going to allow that to be. You will pick up the things you set down and you will allow yourself to think through your heart and the center of you, that authentic you. So when you're ready, let's step out together. Let's breathe in and step out of the container as you exhale. Now breathe in, and you are now in your now. You are now in your now, and you can open your eyes. Thank you. And as you practice that, you will get better and better at connecting to that part of you. And your thinking will change. And you will see through a different lens because it's the authentic you that you're looking through.
Mm, that was lovely experience. I followed it with you and took myself and followed your guidance. So it was very nice. And okay. Um, what would be the next stage for someone who takes this up as a self-practice, does it every day for, I don't know, how long would you say you would need to practice this for to start really deepening?
It's individual. I would feel yourself and how your body reacts and responds. A lot of people that I'm walking through on this journey or walking with, I will have them do that if they can 3 times a day, because you can do it as little or as long. That's what's beautiful about it. There's not really a rule there. And so they'll go, wow, I've got coffee breaks. I've got lunch break. I'm going to take this 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'm really just going to let things shut down and really connect inward. And over a period of time, and it's unique to everybody, the shifting of what they see and how they see their world happens. If you get stuck and you're like, oh my gosh, when I step out, my brain just picks up and runs again. Well, your body's talking to us, and we would debrief that. Your body's telling us something, and we need to listen.
Mm. So after you've practiced for however long it takes, then does somebody begin to experience awareness of that stuckness and of the issues that need to be resolved or
Yes,
understood?
Simon, you're spot on, Simon. Thank you. Yes, you do because you're aligned with you. And you're like, why am I even worrying about that? You just start seeing things that you didn't see before. Before it was your normal and whatever that is. But time in the container is what I call it. Time in the container gives you this shift of perspective for sure and shift of internal awareness. You may even start seeing gifts that you didn't know you had because they got buried in the static.
Mm. Which is very interesting because I think when people learn to meditate, they're trying to shut their mind down. But the mind actually, and this the kind of interruption, annoying though it can be when you're trying to learn meditation, it could be showing you something. In if you find it difficult, that resistance could be showing you something. What would you say about that?
I would agree with you. It is showing you something. And the more we fight that to push it out, the more it amplifies. It's like, I am trying to get your attention. So it's learning to interpret. How do we interpret that? And that's the journey. That's the journey is how learning how to interpret that. Yeah,
Mm, mm. And so, do you offer help for people who want to go on this journey and guidance?
that is what I do. Yes. You've got to learn you. You get the opportunity to understand how your body talks to you, and it's very unique to us. but to each of us as individual. And that's how I walk with people as how in your way, how let's learn you together. And so that when you leave working with me, you know how you work. You know how your body talks, how your energy talks, and then shifting, growing, healing, whatever is being brought to you is clear, and you've got the tools to do it. So yes, that's people work with me for. I have different. You can go on my website at janellrae.com and you can take a look at what I'm offering there. But it's work to understand you. How do I work?
Okay. Well, I will put links to your website in the show notes for this episode. So
Okay.
thank you, Janelle. I think we've covered it quite comprehensively, unless there's anything else you'd like to add.
It was brilliant to be here. Brilliant to discuss this topic. It's right on time, Simon. So thank you for putting your podcast together and nurturing community. I appreciate you.
You're very welcome. Well, thank you very much for your time today. And I do hope that the listeners connect with you.